What's up, duelists? This last weekend was a PS5 tournament at Card Addiction in Southern California. There were 63 players. I'm joined today by one of the more prolific members of the community. You probably recognize him from the Discord. He's also someone who is helping me TO the IRL RBETs. It is Mr. Lee Park himself. What's up, Lee? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Keegan. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Hold on. I totally forgot to check your mic levels. Could you just speak real quick? Can you just
Oh,
say
I'm
something?
sorry.
You're good, you're good. Okay, looks perfect, looks perfect. All right, we're good, we're good, we're good. These are the deck breakdown. This is how many people entered with each copy of, not with each copy, with each number of each deck. I'm not even speaking straight right now. It's the middle of the night. We got to cover this top 8 deck list. You guys know what deck breakdowns look like. Do you have anything to say about these statistics here? Or is there anything that surprises you?
Are the statistics on the screen right now, or?
Sorry, I'm only sharing the dueling book page with you. I just have the
Right, right.
yeah. Let me. Oh my god, this is so scuffed. This is so scuffed. Can you pull them up? Do you have them pulled up? Do you want me to share that
I
with
do
you as
have them
well?
pulled up. You don't need a swipe
Okay,
up.
perfect, perfect, perfect.
I'm not surprised by the spread at all. It's very Blackwing heavy, as expected, with Diva Hero beat and Frogs followed by that. I categorized the Frog category with all the variants because at the end of the day, like they're basically the same engine.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Flamvel Synchro, kind of surprising to see more of that than something like Diva Hero or Fairies or Quick Draw even. But pretty cool to see Flamvel out here representing. Do you want to go ahead and just hop into the top 8 list? Let's go ahead and check this out. Starting off with 8th
Yeah.
place. So 8th
So right
place.
here, eighth place, we have Chris Vicens. He's actually a player that almost never plays at our locals, so I'm very surprised that he played as well as he did. This is actually card for card Stevie's list from the most recent RBET.
Yes, no brain control and everything, which is wild. But
Yeah,
hey, if it works, it works. Don't change it, you know?
yeah. He actually wanted to shout out Stevie, so this is all him, dude.
Very nice, very nice. 8th place, solid finish, solid finish. Well done, well done. I don't think there's really anything we need to say about this list other than the stuff that's already been said since the last RBET. So we can go ahead and move on to 7th. For 7th place, who have we got here? Whose deck list is this?
So we have Oscar Ruano here. He just recently came back from a hiatus of Yu-Gi-Oh because he heard that Edison format was popping off. Thank you, Keegan.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
he he's a local, also from Card Addiction, and he recently made the top 8 of our fourth season, and he ranked third there. So this
Nice.
is his take on Diva Hero Beat.
This looks really similar to the second place list. I don't think it's exactly the same because I don't remember compulsory being at 2 in that list, but this looks very similar.
Yeah, I think James Ark really did. He really worked on this list. Like everything is very close to his base list from RBET rulers.
Yeah, the double Gilman. One thing that's been kind of popular now that was doing really well in Philly that I did a video on like a couple days ago. It's like people are starting to play more Bubble Man over Ocean because there's a couple of OTK setups with Bubble Man. Um, so I'm interested to see if like moving forward, obviously like the weekend after that list is released, it's kind of hard to adapt to that. But I'm interested to see moving forward if more people start playing Bubble Man instead of Ocean just because of the OTK potential. That might be pretty interesting. What do you think about compulsory in this deck?
I think it's good against the synchro matchups and quick draw and stuff, but I don't. I wouldn't say that it's good in the main deck. I think it's a side deck option personally.
Interesting. Well, it worked out well for God damn it,
Oscar.
Oscar. There we go. I forgot his
Yeah.
name already. I'm so bad with names. Okay, but yes, worked out well for Oscar. And yeah, congratulations, 7th place. Again, not much to say about this list that we haven't already said in like the previous RBET top 8s and stuff like that, but got to show it off. Okay, 6th place, getting into some heat, getting into some serious heat. We have fairies at
So
6th
sixth
place.
place is Tommy Dang,
Tommy
and he's
Dang.
not a local. He is a local player. He is a local to Card Addiction, but he never attends our Tuesday and Thursday night Edisons,
Interesting.
and he's playing the best deck in the format.
Apparently, yes, apparently. He seems like he's had some inspiration from some of the people we've seen online. I've actually played against a very similar list online with the one purple, one gold sark double yada. I've seen there was, oh god, I forget the guy's name, but I've played against him in videos before, and he always plays one purple, one gold spark, double Yada. So I wonder if that's Tommy Dang, the guy I've played against online a bunch of times. This list looks very similar. He's got the Cyber Valley Mind Control tech, solid. Is there anything about this deck list that like really stands out to you?
I wasn't when I looked at this deck list, I was very surprised that Purple Light is in the main and the side, and the DD Designator and the Mind Crush combination. I feel like is a pretty crazy setup here.
Yeah, DD Designator is a card that like I've never used before. Is this card good? Like, when would you side this card in?
I I personally think that that card is just a worse Mind Crush, but I can see why that card plus Mind Crush is like devastating. um, I believe he sided in his top eight matchup, which was I believe he played against the second place player, and his deck list is the spiciest deck list. We'll leave that conversation when we get there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for
we'll
some
check out
reason,
the
he
second in a
decided to
minute.
side that. Yeah,
That is wild. That's a crazy pick. I do like flavor wise, you have DD Warrior Lady and then you have DD Designator. It's like you gotta have best girl on all your arts. I also like that he's off Cyber Dragon entirely and he's playing the Proto Cyber Dragon. This is something I've been
yeah,
considering a lot of because like all your recruiters are basically Cyber Dragon. So you don't really need Cyber Dragon. And I found that Cyber Dragon in this deck kind of bricks because if you have a Nova or a Shining Angel in play, you can't really special the Cyber Dragon very effectively. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Really cool list. A lot of cool tech. I'm excited to see if some of this tech takes off or has more stuff. And he was one of two fairy players that entered this event. He made it all the way to sixth, which is very impressive. Obviously, with the field full of Blackwings, it's probably a like a decent bracket for fairies. But yeah, good stuff. Congrats to Tommy. Okay, fifth place, fifth place. Let's get on to the next thing. Another Diva Hero beat. Dang, this is crazy.
yeah. Diva Hero Beat was popular, and I wanted to assume that's because they ran into a lot of the good matchups they were looking for. Personally, I feel like they have a pretty good matchup against Blackwing. This fifth place deck list is from Joaquim Bignora. He's an LA local that came down to OC, and he played during Edison, so he's generally a pretty good technical player. Personally, I believe this is almost card for card, very similar to Oscar's deck list, except instead of Brain Control, it's playing Book of Moon in the main, and the Wing Blast.
Yeah, yeah, it's very similar. I mean, with this style of deck, it's pretty difficult to deviate too much from like the standard like what is good and what isn't good. I think the biggest change that like I won't be surprised to see moving forward, like I said in the last one, is the Bubble Man. I think some people are going to start playing one of him just to go for that OTK setup off an e-call. The Wind Blast is a cool tech. I think it's pretty solid, especially with Ocean. You can sometimes Wind Blast for free if you like use it to protect your Ocean or whatever. So I like that a lot. I also like his sideboard. It's just like two of the best cards in Edison format and like one Dust Tornado, which is pretty funny. Yeah, good stuff. Congrats to Joaquin, you said? Joaquin?
Yeah, Joaquin.
Joaquin, there we go. Okay. Fourth place. Fourth place. Vayu Turbo. Interesting stuff. Double hamster.
Yeah,
Trip.
so fourth place is Robert Vasquez. He's a very decorated player, actually. In 2010, he won the Upper Deck Day tournament in San Diego. He topped SJC Houston in 2008, which was a Teledad format, and he has topped Card Addiction's Edison ranked format since season two till now. So a full year of staying in the top eight. Um, it's no surprise that he made top cut at this tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like his list too. Double hamster, triple Caius, triple Sirocco. It's like very like we're gonna play three of all the best stuff, basically. I dig it.
Yeah, clean, very clean list.
Yeah. Sideboard looks straightforward. Triple pulling the rug is something that I am a big fan of. This deck actually really struggles with frogs and monarchs, and it can also really struggle with Machina if you don't have the right traps. So I think having triple pulling the rug is a good call. So good stuff. Congrats. Of course, an expected top eight, of course. Third place, we have Black Wings with the main deck tech Morphing Jar, but also with
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I'm just looking at this for the first time. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. This guy, he's actually he's a card addiction logo as well. He has been playing with us since the beginning of season one, so it's been a whole year, and he is our ranked number one player in Edison, and this is his deck list since the beginning of the seasons. So from season one till now, he's ranked number one across the board. His name's Paul Elias. We call him the king of card addiction because my first introduction to him, for 5 weeks in a row, he won the GOAT format tournament, and we were like, "Wow, what the heck's going on, man? Is GOAT format this skillful?" This is what he brewed.
This is crazy. I mean, this is really interesting because actually I have a members only video on a list that's very similar to this. So I wonder if like I like osmosis took inspiration from him. Like we had a similar idea with the morphing jar and the compulsories and the Trunade as well. So I think that that's really interesting. I wasn't playing Reckless Greed. I think that was the biggest difference, and I was playing only 40 cards, I believe. Um, but my list was very similar to this. I was also playing Dark Grepher. I was basically playing Dark Grepher over the Reckless Greeds because I felt like Dark Grepher plus Jar is pretty crazy. But this list is sick. I really like this. What do you think about Reckless
I
Greed in
thought
this
it
format?
was interesting. I thought it was interesting that he's playing Reckless Greed, but he's not playing Allure of Darkness.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
but
like
it worked.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just worked for him, I guess. That's
I
crazy.
My opinion on Reckless Greed in this format, uh, I personally think it's bad, but it brought him to top, and he ended the Swiss rounds undefeated.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Maybe this deck is just the truth. Wait, I'm gonna have to try this out. This sounds heat. No, there's a lot of stuff like quote unquote missing from this deck list. Like you don't see Mind Control, you don't see Allure of Darkness, you don't see like the third Blizzard, for example, you don't see Dark Greffers and stuff. But maybe he just wanted the raw consistency of like, okay, I'm gonna see Sirocco Bora Bora, and the best way to do that is to play triple Reckless, which is like a +1 up front instead of like Allure of Darkness, which isn't necessarily a +1 up front, and then triple compulsory to like make sure you can get that Sirocco Bora Bora push in. He's playing this a lot more like I want to say a burn deck than than uh than an actual Blackwing deck because he's got the Trunade, the triple compulsory, and the triple reckless, which are like cards you would normally see in like aggro bomb style decks in Go format or whatever. Very interesting. No bottomless, no dust shoot anywhere in the entire list either. Just opting for the prisons. Really, really interesting list. Super cool
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
Congrats to him. I mean, it sounds like he knows what he's doing, so I dig it a lot. Okay, second place. This is the one that probably is in my clickbait. Probably is in the title or something like that. But yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, so this player is Brett Perez. He drove all the way up from San Diego. Prior to this tournament, I didn't even they weren't no one from San Diego was even on my radar. But he took this tournament by storm. He went X1 in Swiss, and he's playing this crazy zombie plant brew. Um, I feel like his strategy is to play a controlled play style, trying to control the game with Caius, and then steal the wins with Mark of the Rose and brain controls and mind
Yeah.
control.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's very easy to like kind of slow down the pace of the game when you have these Mystic Tomatoes that can go into like Spirit Reaper or they could go into Sangan or Goblin Zombie to give you that high value Caius. I really like this. It's basically quick draw, but instead of playing like Rykos and like maxing out Avarice, he's gone for the Battle Recruiter like Tutor engine, which I think actually is more consistent in Edison for quick draw than the Ryko stuff is. So I really like this list. This list is heat. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, 4 copies of the steel cards. That definitely makes sense. Like if you get one Caius, like let's say 3400 damage in, which is pretty common, then it's pretty easy to take over the game if you have like one or two of these steel cards from there because your opponent just drops too low. So that makes a lot of sense. He has all the power traps. He has does shoot solemn return call, like just all the limited stuff. I like that too. Dang, good stuff. I honestly I don't see anything that's like super wrong with this deck list. It like just kind of makes sense when looking at it. The one quick draw is interesting. How do you feel about that?
I thought it was a surprising addition, but once I saw him playing it, I kind of had a idea of what he was planning to do. Like he uses it as an extender basically. Like if his original game plan doesn't work out, he leans on a quick draw, a drill warrior, uh, uh, what's called +1 game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like Drill Warrior plus Dandy can like buy you a lot of time. So like
Yeah,
if your initial push doesn't work out, it can maybe like stall you out till you get like more Caius activations off or more Mark of the Roses in your hand. It makes a lot of sense. I actually really like
yeah, and a
playing.
handful of times I feel like he tutored quick draw with the Sangan.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like just having you really only need the one, because Tomato like Lone Fire gets Tomato, Tomato gets Sangan, so you're basically playing 7 copies of Quick Draw. You don't really need to play multiple to brick on it. No, it makes sense. The only thing that like obviously it makes kind of tough is the extra deck space. You'll notice he doesn't have Revived King or like some of the other synchros that you might want, like Red Dragon Archfiend with your Debris Dragon, because he had to make room for both Drill Warrior and Turbo Warrior here. But I think it's totally fine. Yeah, the extra deck space looks very cramped, but it looks like he managed to make it work. I'm not seeing anything that's
Definitely.
too crazy. The Armor Master, I wonder if that comes up more than the other guys. He is playing Gale. Dang, that's the craziest extra deck I've ever seen. You could fit another 15 cards in here, straight up. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
Good stuff. And then last but not least, definitely first place, of course. Diva Hero
So
beat as
first
well.
place is Hero Beat. This is actually my best friend in real life, Jonathan. Um, he played Callum's deck list card for card.
Shout out Jonathan. That is also James Ark's deck list card for card. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, the list works. Like it got second place at the RBET. It got first place at the PS5 tournament. Shout out to Jonathan. Do you have anything you want to say about like did you play test with him at all or for the event or anything?
Um, I usually playtest with him, but he didn't have a lot of time to playtest before this. He played probably like 2 hours on Saturday night, and when I was watching him, the cards that I personally felt that overperformed were Grand Mole and DD Warrior Lady.
Yeah, yeah, those cards are insane.
Yeah,
When we were watching him in the tournament or Callum and RBET as well, like those two cards were they were good every time they were seen. I'm a big fan of those two cards, especially in this deck list. This deck is sick.
yeah,
I mean, obviously we've talked about it a bunch of times on the channel before.
yeah.
But yeah, it's solid. Again, moving forward, I'll be interested to see if anyone starts to include that Bubble Man tech for those OTKs. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. Overall, thank you for joining me today, Lee. Thank you for doing this top 8 coverage. You knew a lot more about the players, so it was cool to hear the like the more human element to that. And also, thanks for sharing the deck list with me.
No, thank you. You made Edison format what it is today. Like without you, like we would not be playing retro Yugo at this level, man. Like here's to the future. Here's to all your plans for the future. Like let's make this happen, dude.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for the IRL RBET that we're throwing in June, and I can't wait to cover that for you guys. We'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace out.